So when I came back to Nigeria, fortunately, some of my friends whom I had known were in very strategic positions in government. One of them, I would mention his name today, was a military governor of a state in Nigeria. So he invited me and gave me a job in Diffree to help in the building of what they call the rural roads. And I worked on that and subsequently did some other things, including doing construction work for the FHA in Lagos at the Federal Housing Authority. So, like I said, I felt that I needed to help Nigerians. How would I help Nigerians? I came and I discovered that Nigeria is a country of humongous wealth, but poor people. We are not living up to the optimum of our potentials because of many things. Well, some are systemic, including what people would normally call corruption, mismanagement of funds, but it boils down to poverty. Poverty, in my own definition, is not the absence of money, cash, but absence of ideas. Ideas rule the world. And as the good book says in Proverbs 23 verse 7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. I believe the biggest problem, difference between the so-called first world, like America, where I lived and I worked as a consul of Nigeria in New York City for 3 odd years, and also, like I said earlier, I was living in Minneapolis, St. Paul with my family. The biggest difference, the gulf, the difference between the way we live here and the way those people in the first world live is in the way they think. The way they think. For me, the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. If you think poor, you'll be poor. So the people in this part of the world are not educated to think powerfully, dynamically, and creatively. We base our faith on what I will call blind faith, believing that there is pie in the sky, God will intervene without us putting any input. So I was looking around thinking about how I was going to do my own little bit to get the Nigerian project moving ahead. I found that one of the biggest problems was the way people think. It's a poverty of ideas. People don't understand what they have available to them. Even here in Abuja, where I'm making this video from, the hills surrounding Abuja is teeming with riches. Stones that are of precious value. You have tantalite, you have aquamarine, you have sapphire, you name it. In fact, in my earlier life, I was a pupil. I went to high school in Kefi, Government College Kefi, which as the crow flies is maybe 15 kilometers from where I'm making this video. And I remember those days as a small 12, 13-year-old boys, we would be walking through our fields on a Saturday afternoon, and we would stumble on rocks, and they were glittering, and we knew instinctively that these were valuable stones. Of course, it took another almost 30 years before foreigners came and they started talking about the mineral resources of Nasarawa State. You can repeat this one, repeat this fact at the nauseam all over Nigeria. In fact, there is no state in Nigeria that doesn't have precious minerals that can be exploited and make the people to live very comfortable lives. But unfortunately, most of our leaders, I wouldn't call them leaders, I would say rulers, are self-opinionated, they are selfish, they are short-sighted and focus on how they can make their own life better instead of seeing how they can help the society at large. For me, it can be a win-win situation. There's no problem in trying to improve your own family's social condition, while you also try and lift up the people. So I felt that I had a very good, had a lot of privilege. I traveled to more than 20 countries working for Nigeria. I had met so many of the heads of state, especially in the sub-region. I was working with ECOWAS. I met people like Hamani Diori of Niger, General Nyasibe Yadema of Togo, Nougrandon, Félix Houphouët-Boigny of Côte d'Ivoire, my personal favorite, Ahmed Sékou Touré of Guinea, and Colonel Mathieu Kérékou of Benin. So I had the opportunity of traveling and seeing so many people. I went to foreign service training in Australia. So I felt that instead of me going up to the United States and helping to foster the brain drain that is on, I should come back to Nigeria and then try as much as possible to form a mastermind group of people whom I can be able to impart some of the knowledge that a lot of money was spent in inculcating in me. And that's one of the reasons why I came back to Nigeria. Second one, come.